Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Best Kept Secrets, hosted by me, Lele Pons. We have a great show for you guys today, and we're going to start off with a call from Didi, who borrows her roommate's vibrators, following by a call from Daniel, who works as a sugar baby to older women. I don't know about you, but I have a lot of questions for these callers.
The following content contains adult subject matter, including sensitive material, and is intended for adult consumption only. It may not be suitable for all audiences. Therefore, discretion is advised. Lele Pons is not a trained expert, but is using her personal experiences to create a space for sensitive discussions.
And if you have a secret that you want to share on this show, you can head over to shots.com/secrets to be a guest. That's shots, SHOTS.com/secrets to submit. Well, all right, guys, let's get this show on the road and get started with our first caller. Hi, Didi.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm super excited to know, what do you want to talk to us about today? What's your secret?
Okay, so at the beginning of COVID, I was, we were all like, we're all kind of bored. And I was living with two other roommates, and they would often, they had partners. So I would often be left at home just chilling by myself, single. And so I would find myself feeling a little frisky and would end up basically using their vibrator.
Oh, okay.
And so I have I lived in LA, and I was doing that with one of my roommates. And then I recently moved out of state and have two new roommates.
So it's like your thing to use other people's vibrators.
So basically, I've been using other people's vibrators.
So
yes.
you want to get COVID?
No, not necessarily, no.
We've all done really weird shit, but let me tell you, I would understand if you don't have a vibrator, you want to borrow one, because you know what I mean? But do you actually have one, or they had one, you didn't, and you want to use theirs? Because if you have one and you just didn't like yours and wanted to use another one, that's another story. Truly,
I have one of those little bean vibrators, and it's on its last leg. It's pretty sad at this point. And so I know that both of these roommates have superstar vibrators.
Why don't you buy their why don't you want to buy theirs,
just get the same thing? Right. I don't really know that there's logic behind why I do it. I think it might be slightly for the thrill, even though I know that they're not
yours.
Because of their locations. Yeah. So yeah, I don't really know why I'm kind of exploring, I really want to get the right next vibrator. So I think I'm just waiting for the right one to present itself. And in the meantime,
which one do you like better? What kind of vibrators do you have, and which one do you like?
Okay, so I have that little bean that's just this, seriously, it's so tiny, and it's just clitoral stimulation. And the one that I'm really liking is my current roommates, and it's this it's a solid size that fits in your hand nice, but it actually sucks on your clitoris. So it's and it's a small circle that ends up very intensely stimulating that small area. So that one has been really popping off for me.
Oh wow. I've never used a vibrator ever,
really?
Which is so weird because my friends did buy me one for my birthday, a panty one. It's I put it on my, it's in my panties, and
wow.
If they they have the controller mode, they whatever they want. It just vibrates.
Okay, so is that a gag gift kind of thing?
Yeah, I guess it is. I mean, I haven't used it yet. I don't know why I haven't used it. Maybe because I'm scared. I don't know. I don't know why I'm scared. I just maybe I should come to the show and be I'm scared of vibrators, because it's the complete opposite of you.
Yeah, I think I don't really know. I'm not the type to really I'm really polite in terms of borrowing and everything, and I don't know.
But you haven't polite in borrowing, but you haven't asked them.
No, definitely not asking them at all.
And have they ever caught you? Or not?
So, the first roommate when I was still living in Los Angeles, there was this one time because I was using it like once a week at the beginning of COVID. And okay, well, she came back once and I had gone in there, and this is awful, but I would use it in her bed. And this one time I like must have taken off my slippers and left them beside the bed. And so she gets home and she's like, any reason why your slippers are next to my bed? And I was like, I froze and I told her like, oh, like I needed a pair of socks and like must have found them for work and like stuttered. So I muttered some sort of explanation and she was like, okay, sus, but like, okay, we'll accept that answer.
The good thing is that she can be thinking of some other reason that is not that, because how do you like explain that? You know, there's some things you can't explain.
There's just no explaining that I'm behind her back using her vibe.
How many times do you use it? Once a week? Every time they go out?
I would say it had become like a very solid once a week habit for sure. Yeah.
And you wash it off, obviously.
Oh, for sure. Sanitize it before and after, for sure.
What would they say if they found out? Like, I wonder, like, I would be, if it was me, let me say, if I was your friend or like your roommate and I knew that, personally, this is why I was telling my friends, I'd be like, honestly, when you said that, I'd be like, you can keep it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you really want it.
Right. I think that my first roommate, she would probably be like, not angry, but like, just like, what the fuck? Like, why not just use your own or get like a new one? And then my current roommate, who I do it, you know, I use her vibe less often, but she is like super open and like has been in open relationships and is like, you know, she's just like she's more open sexually in that way. And I know she wouldn't give a fuck. So I'm like, I can't really just all of a sudden bring up that I'm already using it. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Would you be okay if someone uses yours?
Honestly, like since I now have been doing it, I'm not the type to care. Like anyone could borrow anything.
Anything, yeah. When it gets to that, then you can't say shit.
I can't say shit anymore. Like, yeah, exactly. I have no say at this point.
That is so funny. Do you think you enjoy doing it because of like the thrill, or like being afraid you were gonna get caught?
Probably on some level. I don't think it's that I'm gonna get caught. I think it's that I like it's like feels sneaky and like I feel like bad for doing it. It's more so the thrill in that, as because like I know this is weird, but I look at their location so I like can confirm.
Oh my god, location! Now we're going with locations. You have that set?
We all share each other's locations because we're roommates and we just want to look out. But it's a nice tool when you are trying to use your roommate's vibrator if there's anyone out there and want to make sure that they're not coming home to catch you. So that has been a nice tool for me.
What about the bed sheets? Like, do you ever drip on them?
Do I what?
Do you ever the bed sheets? Like, what do you do?
I've laid down towels, but I try to just do like quickies. Like I don't do like long sessions. It's more of like a like one and done, in and out sort of sesh. So
that's crazy. Are you going to buy like your own, the one that you want, or like just keep doing this?
Well, you know, we'll see. I am looking at this one vibrator right now that is appealing to me. So I may have made my decision. And then once I get like a really solid new modern vibe, we'll see if I still want to indulge in others, you know?
I swear after this call, I'm going to PayPal you money to buy a vibrator. You might actually never even buy it. You just, you have it there. You have it in your house.
Yeah, I mean, it's already there, and like, it's they're really like stellar vibes.
Yeah,
so.
That's so funny. I mean, honestly, there's something new every day. This is something I'm learning now. You're the first person that uses other people's vibrators, and I don't even use one. So you can use all of the ones that I have because I have not used them.
I'll take that. I'll take that panty vibrator. I want to.
That's a good one. That's a good one. It's really good. But seriously, thank you so much for talking to us and opening up you know, like there's nothing to be ashamed about. We all do weird stuff.
For sure. For
Literally.
sure.
All right. Bye.
Bye. You have a good day.
In a different kind of level, I do understand where she's coming from, and like I understand her because I do borrow things from like one of my good friends, Hannah Stocking, and Hannah just like literally almost never invites me over and wants me to get out because she knows I borrow stuff all the time without even asking. She's just like, what? And she's so nice about it. She's just like, why do you do that, Lele? Why? Is there like an inner problem you have? And I'm like, no, I'm lacking this, so I get it, you know? But I understand. I mean, I don't do a vibrator. Yet again, I don't really use it. So I don't know the thrill of it. But, I hope Hannah doesn't have a vibrator. I might that might be the first one I use, to be honest. So I don't think it's such a big deal, but I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys think it's a big deal? Do you guys think it's weird? I personally don't. I've heard way too many freaky stuff that this is definitely not even in top 10. And, I think it's a white lie. It's just, you know, it might ruin a friendship, but not really.
Hold on tight, guys. We have another amazing caller lined up for you guys right after this quick break. Welcome back, guys. It's time to talk to our second caller of the day. Let's go. Daniel, you there?
I am here. Hey, how's it going, Lele?
I'm good. And you?
You know, it's good. It's a weird time now, but it's getting by.
It's getting by. I feel like we're all in this world right now. We're getting through it. We're all together. Crazy stuff's going on, to be honest. This 2020 is by far the weirdest year that I've experienced. Yeah,
I saw someone post about it today that they said if 2020 was a drink, it'd be vodka in a water bottle when you're expecting water. So it's that's about as good of a description as I could think for it.
That's a weird description, whoever said that, but I understand him or her, what they said. First things first, thank you for opening up.
Sure, happy to do it.
And we want to know, what is your secret?
Yeah, so my secret is that for the past about a decade now, I've been dating older women in sort of a sugar baby situation. And it's a total secret. I haven't told any family or friends, but I've been doing it for a long time now, and it seems like the perfect platform to talk about it.
And like, I just want to know, what does that mean? Like, what you do?
Yeah, so essentially I spend time with older women, whether it be traveling around the world or just time at home or going different places. And I, in some cases, sexual relationships with them. And in return, they give me different gifts or sometimes money and things like that. And it's a mutually beneficial experience, I guess is the most diplomatic way to describe it. But yeah, it's a crazy thing that I kind of discovered pretty much when I turned 20. So I'm 30 now, but it's kind of a crazy thing. I think the explosion of like online dating and just different ways to connect with people has really opened this kind of world up. And oftentimes there's a lot of negative stigma around it because most times it's guys approaching younger women and soliciting them in very rude and unsanitary ways.
Have you ever fallen for any of these women?
No, but I've dated some for a good amount of time. I wouldn't say that I'm particularly looking for love when I'm dating them necessarily, but I've been in some longer, friendships, long-term relationships, quote unquote, with them. But I don't think I plan to marry one or anything like that. I have my own plans for a family of my own one day, and I think that would be a good place to start. But I think it kind of goes back to what I was saying before. It's like, if you can find a mutually beneficial way to make a connection, I think that works in all sorts of situations. But if you do it in a way that's rude or, suggestive, I think that's unacceptable regardless of what's going on.
I'm very curious. Are they all single?
Yeah, I actually I don't do any sort of relationship with someone who's married. I'm supportive of the sanctity of marriage if that's still a thing for many people, and it's not for me if someone is married.
Good for you. Seriously, and because I feel like that's good karma, to be honest, now that I think about it. Because many women who do that, I feel like sometimes they're not happy with their marriage, so they look for that,
Yeah, and I think on the flip side, too, with men, I think a lot of times they step out, and oftentimes you hear the stories of a man with a younger woman cheating on his wife.
Yes.
I feel like there's no role. I don't want to play that role regardless of what side it's on, so I start now, right? If I'm going to make this kind of situation happen, I'm going to start in a way that I, at least myself, can feel comfortable with. and not put myself in any riskier or worse situation.
I feel like I've been with guys who have girlfriends many times, and I should learn from you and just not do that.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes they're not willing to be open and they don't want to tell you about it. And I think a big part of this is a kind of private life.
They won't tell me. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, and there's nothing you could do in that case. But, once you find out, it's that situation doesn't, maybe, I don't know, maybe it doesn't continue. But to me, that's just something like, I've been in situations where I've met people and they haven't disclosed that. But once I find out, I just call it quits.
Exactly. What I usually do, and did before, I was like, hey, like, you have to pick. Mm-hmm. That's what I do.
That makes sense.
Girl, and if you pick the girl, that's amazing, but I'm leaving.
Yeah. But if they pick you, then they made the right choice, right? That's how it always is.
Exactly. If they picked me, yeah, it was the right choice. Good job. When did you start being like a sugar baby?
I started when I was around 20, and I was living in New York, actually, at the time. I moved there for a internship. And I didn't really know anyone in the town. It's crazy expensive to live in New York. So I was just trying to find other things to, help me pay rent, pay bills, whatever it is. And through a long process, I kind of came across this and it worked out all right.
Do you like older women or is it just a job? Because like sometimes like me, for example, like I'm attracted to older men. Not older, but like I just love men that have more experience than me, that are more mature.
Yeah. So, I mean, in that example, generally, how old would you say a man you're attracted to is?
34.
34? And I apologize, I don't know how old you are.
I'm 24.
Okay, yeah. So 10-year difference. I mean, I find myself in that situation or larger in the past. I think the oldest I've gone out with is probably around 56 or 57, and I'm 30. So there's quite an age. Yeah, there's quite an age difference, but I actually do greatly enjoy spending time with them. I find I learn a lot about both myself, but as well as just dynamics of working with other people. Older people, just in general, have so much general wisdom to share with me, but also you can kind of learn things, grow yourself, and the conversation isn't only about what's hot on TikTok. There's more things to be talked about. I've learned a lot about.
I was about to say that. Stop. I was about to be like, you're right. I'm tired of fucking coming back from a really beautiful relationship with someone that's older and coming back to be like, hey, what are you doing today? TikToks. I was about to say that and you said it for me. Like, listen, I want a guy like that, like, is not going to talk to me about the trends or the drama that's going on social media, that's going to talk to me about God knows what, like something I don't know, really. Yeah. I don't know. I'm a social media person. We get it. I know everything. I don't need to know anymore. I want to know things that someone could teach me, something that I don't know. I love learning every fucking day. So yeah, no one here at my age is going to teach me shit.
Yeah, it's true. And it's interesting because like I know one of the women that I dated earlier on, she was a financial advisor and she taught me all about investing in the stock market and things like that. And it's something that I didn't take they didn't have college classes on it where I went to school. I didn't know much about it, but I just paid attention to her. She taught me so much. And now I do it not on a daily basis, but I do it enough where I'm making good money there too. And I find like there's lots of different skills you can learn from people who have experienced way more than I have. And I think I have my own friends. We can talk about TikTok and Instagram and all that kind of stuff, but it mixes it up, right? On different conversations with different people.
Yeah. For example, my friends are my age. My boyfriend should be a little bit older. I mean, I don't know. Like, I completely understand where you're coming from. And I have, like, for example, like a lot of like young kids, not kids, like a lot of like young people, like I'm 24, like I've dated someone that's 21, like always like 3 or 4 years younger than me. Mm-hmm. So, but they like to like date me because I can talk to them about things that they don't know. Sure. But I don't like it though. I don't.
You know everything
they're attracted
know.
to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not attracted to them.
And also, I would imagine you also have a very large social media profile. People know you pretty well. I mean, I think that's probably when someone younger hears your name, they'll probably get very excited. They know who you are. And so it's exciting for them to date someone like you. But I imagine someone older, they may not have as much like admiration for your profile. Well, no, they may know who you are, but they may not be like, oh my God, she's a celebrity. They might go, oh, she's a really cool chick. I'm happy to hang out with her. That's great that she has her own independent life. But it kind of mixes things up a little bit.
The less fucks you give about me, the better for me. I love it, to be honest. Like, if you don't give a fuck who I am and who, like, whatever, I love you. You're the love of my life.
There you go.
But I am curious though, what is the most lavish gift and trip you've gotten?
Yeah, so well, the most lavish trip that I've gotten is me and this one woman I was seeing at the time. We flew to the Maldives,
Ooh.
Which is a small chain of islands I believe it's off of India. And it's one of those places where like all the little huts are over the water and they bring your food to you on a little boat. It's incredibly, it's an incredibly lavish vacation spot, and the waters are crystal blue. It's gorgeous. And it's a vacation I'd wanted to do for so long. And I remember, like, even as, you know, when I was younger, I was like, oh my God, that's a place I definitely have to go. And I remember I brought it up to her one time. She said, oh, we should go. And I was like, what do you mean go? And what do you mean by we should? And she's like, oh yeah, I'll get us tickets. No problem. We'll head out, you know, when next time you have time off. And so I took time off from work and I spent I think it was 9 or 10 days there. It was unbelievable. I mean, it was an experience that I definitely couldn't have afforded at the time. And even now, the way we spent it was so lavish and top luxury. It was lovely. And it's something that I'll never forget.
Honestly, I understand you completely.
Yeah,
now that I'm thinking about it, now that you put it like that, I think I was part of something like that. I feel like I was a sugar baby.
Oh, were you really?
Now that I think about it,
what happened to you?
A guy that I was in love though. But now that you say it like that, I was just a sugar baby. So I like this one guy who was like 34, and he took me to Kabul, like did the most for me to go there and everything, and like got the plane, like even invited my friends over, and like all that beautiful thing. Then I found out he had a fiance, and he got me a private jet, and I was just like, wow, this is beautiful. This is love. And then my friends were like, no, bitch, it's not fucking love. It's fucking using you. Like, she told me you should get paid.
Yeah, those kind of gifts. I mean, they're certainly nice, but if you approach it from, oh my God, it feels like love, you kind of get brainwashed by it. Because if someone spends a lot of money on you, could think like, oh, they love me, they're treating me so well, that's amazing. But on the flip side, it's like, if you think about it as like, no, they're actually just treating me to a vacation, that's great. You got an incredible experience, a private jet. I mean, that's just awesome in general. I'm sure if you told yourself at the age of, I don't know, 15 that, hey, you'll be going on a private jet and traveling around the world, you'd probably be like, no way, that's unbelievable.
Exactly. And then I found out it was like a bachelorette party that they were having in the boat, and I was invited, and I was like, oh my God, am I like a stripper? Like, am I that type of girl? You know, like when him and his guy friends like all went on a boat, and all of them brought like a fucking like a girl or something, like but they have their own separate lives, and I was like, holy shit, oh my God, I'm part of this. Like, I'm what do you say? I'm a sugar girl, but I'm not getting paid. I should have been like, hey, can you pay me now?
I mean, that's the thing is, I think that's kind of what we were talking about at the jump, was like, if a guy invites you to that and he just says, oh, you're now part of a giant party, and you think you might be a stripper, you don't know what's happening, you might be in love, you might be the entertainment, who knows?
Yeah.
That's not a situation I want to get involved in. But, you know, I talked it over with the woman, and she was like, yeah, you know, we'll go spend the time there, pack your swim trunks, we'll spend time in the water, have a good time, have some great meals. That sounds like a dream vacation to me.
How do you not fall in love?
You know what? I think that up front, I kind of think to myself, like, I'm getting to know someone, and that's great. But I know what I'm looking for as far as an actual relationship. And I have dated to people in my age range. But I don't know. I think it's just kind of, I know what's coming, and I know what to expect at this point. I think at first it was probably harder to not fall in love or not think that this person actually cared about me. But a lot of times people talk about it up front. I mean, I've had conversations where people just lay it out like, this is what the deal is. And that kind of cuts off any thoughts of love.
Dan, I'm just going to go and cry in the bathroom and call this guy and tell him to pay me.
Yeah, he owes you interest, right? At this point, you better get some money paid back.
Yeah. My God. And then I found out apparently he was going to get married, and his fiance follows me. And I'm just like, oh, this is such a game. Weird.
It's all a game. It's all a game.
But yours is better. Mine, now I'm like rethinking shit. But thank you.
Yeah, you know, it is a crazy thing. And it's not something, like, if you had asked me at 20 if I'd be doing this at 30, I probably would have said no too. But I think that, you know, like I think you asked what was the most lavish gift I got. I think at one point someone bought me a MacBook Pro. Mine broke down, and she just bought me a new one the next day. And I was like, okay, cool. And it's, you know, I'm very thankful and appreciative, and I, you know, spend the time to do so. But I think for a lot of men think about it as like, oh, this is a way where I can pay and I'll have sex guaranteed. I mean, yes, I have had sex with some of them, but the vast majority of them are very much about like, I just want to spend time with someone who enjoys my company, who treats me nicely and wants to be my companion on things.
Every girl's dream.
Like you're saying, it's every girl's dream. But I think many women in these situations are often divorced or have been alone for a long time and they want someone to be there for them. And I think that, in some cases, like I've definitely been in a situation where someone is like, oh, I don't have X, Y, or Z for you. And I go, I don't care. Like, it's nice to just spend time with someone and cheer them up, because you can tell some people really do need it, especially nowadays where we're in a situation that's a lot tougher for people, both financially, but just personally.
I'm curious. Last question I have any of them falling in love with you?
One did and was talking about like actually dating me, but it didn't come into anything serious. I explained to her like, oh no, this is just kind of this type of relationship. And she understood, and there was no hard feelings or anything like that. I think on the women's side as well, I think a number of them are, dating regularly, but this is a relationship that gives them someone to actually lend them an ear and treat them right and in a guaranteed way, as opposed to someone you might go on a date. I'm sure you've been on first dates and they are disasters. And I can imagine as you get older, it only gets more that way as people get more set in their ways and less flexible.
Yeah. Maybe now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think I can do that because I do fall in love easily. And when I find a guy that's just there actually and is giving me something that I can't find, for example, like what you're giving these girls, I would keep you,
Well, I appreciate that. I'll have to tell that to the people that I'm actually trying to date.
Oh my God, am I flirting with you right now?
Are we flirting? Hey, listen, no, it's very fine. No, listen, I think there's a lot of negativity around it as a general thing. And, I'm happy that I'm able to do it in a way that I'm comfortable with. But at the same time, like, I can't really share it with my family. They'd freak out. And my friends would clown me to no end. So it's kind of like, it's nice to be able to share it with you on your program. It's been pretty cool.
Thank you for opening up with our audience, with our listeners, and sharing your secret. Seriously, it was great talking to you.
No problem. Thanks so much.
I have to say, I really, really, really like this call because I learned a lot. And he said something that was very true, is that women do, sometimes, a lot of times women can't find the right guy. And all we want is a guy that is with us, that keeps us company, that is listening to our problems, that is there, even though we're paying them to do that. But we are like that, and it's different when it's like a guy getting a girl to be her sugar baby and a girl who's getting a guy. I feel like it's a completely different thing. And I feel like if I don't find a man eventually, I might be doing that. For me, I'm talking for me, I might do that, because God, right now kids and people my age are really fucking dumb. I'm dumb too, but like I can't find someone that's like, I don't know, old school. And I love old school stuff. I love people that are older. Literally my type. Older, but not that old. So who knows? Now I know that I have to call this guy that invited me to Cabo, and I'm gonna tell him to fuck off and to pay me. So I'm about to do that right now. Well, that is a wrap for this week's episode of Best Kept Secrets. I just want to thank everybody for tuning in, and I want to give a big thanks to Didi and Daniel. Even though these calls were completely different, I think they have one thing in common, and that is providing women pleasure. And I think it's awesome. I had no idea there were so many different kinds of vibrators. As I admitted to Didi, I've never used one before, but I'm all for women taking pleasure into their own hands. Or in her case, taking pleasure out of their roommate's drawer. And I think in general, you should always ask before borrowing things, but I understand this is kind of embarrassing, and this situation is a little different. The same goes for the woman Daniel was talking to us about in the second call. We hear way more about sugar daddies, but there are a lot of sugar mamas out there too, and I say more power to them. Daniel sounded like he actually respected women who hired him, and it sounds like they both leave the situation happy and satisfied. So, drumroll, my question of the week is, inspired by Didi, would you let your friend use your vibrator? I don't think I would mind as long as they clean it after, but I just texted my friend to ask, and she said absolutely not, which is okay. I mean, I'm expecting some fierce debates on this. Head over to my Instagram page at Lele Pons to vote on the poll and let me know where you stand. I hope all of you enjoyed today's show, and don't forget, if you have a secret that you would like to share, make sure to go to shots.com/secrets. Have a fabulous week. Bye!
If you or someone you know are struggling emotionally, text START to 741-741 for a confidential chat anytime.
Thanks for listening to Best Kept Secrets with me, Lele Pons, only on Spotify in partnerships with Shot Studios. The Shot Studios original team includes creators John Shahidi and Sam Shahidi, my lovely producer Belinda Mercer, and audio editor Stephen Colon. From Spotify Studios, executive producers Javier Pinol, Liz Gately, Gina Delvac, and Danny Treboj. And a special thanks to Dan Behar, Jessica Molina, Francisco Quijada, and Julio Pabon. I'm Lele. Follow me on Instagram at Lele Pons and check out my exclusive merch at lilshop.com. That is lilshop, Lil shop.com. Talk to you next week.